One of the teachings I'd like to share with this channel is that life sends us many messages. For the most part, they aim to provide us with information to enlighten our lives or those of our loved ones for our own good. Hence the importance, as I've mentioned in other videos, of keeping an open mind so as to be able to pick up on all the help life brings us. Moreover, we don't understand what we see. We only see what we can understand. By broadening our range of knowledge, we can embrace experiences that we would normally dismiss out of hand. This testimonial illustrates this point through a message from the Beyond, which was intended to meet a very specific need. In February 2016, my mother-in-law lost her husband, who was 76 years old at the time. He was a man of extreme kindness and great gentleness. His departure was experienced as a great loss for the family, particularly because of his human qualities. 2 months after he passed away, we went on vacation to Normandy, and to cheer up her mother, my wife suggested that she come with us because her grief was immense. A few days after our arrival, one night, I had an astonishing dream. I was on a path surrounded by vegetation, and I saw my father-in-law in front of me. He was radiating a luminous joy, especially through his smile. He approached me and held out his arms to me. I was so happy to see him again that I too held out my arms to him, and we hugged in immense joy. The embrace lasted a long time, and I experienced the scene surrounded by an incredible positive light. But while in my dream I felt this amazing joy that emanated from him, I heard the name Joel, which was repeated several times. Joel, Joel, Joel. In the dream, I was confused, because this name that kept coming back was not that of my father-in-law, who was called Jean-Claude. I remember saying to myself, but why do I hear this name Joel, when his name is Jean-Claude? It wasn't until I woke up that I understood the reason for this confusion. Joel is my mother-in-law's first name. And then it all became clear. I had to convey this message to my mother-in-law, telling her that her husband was perfectly happy on the other side. The next morning, as I was having breakfast, my mother-in-law, who used to get up early, came to join me in the living room for breakfast. Once she had settled down with her coffee, I shared my dream with her. I told her about my dream, insisting that Jean-Claude was happy where he was, that he wanted her to know that everything was going well for him, and that he was literally beaming with joy. She then began to cry. She was now reassured. This message was very useful in reducing the grief she was feeling during this period. At the time, I had this positive experience without really asking myself any questions. However, I should have asked myself one in particular. Why did he have to go through me to get this message across? I only got the answer to this question 7 years later. In fact, during a discussion about ghosts, my mother-in-law told me that about a month after her husband passed away, she had seen him in the doorway of her bedroom while she was in bed, and he had said these words to her: "I came to say goodbye to you." Seeing him, she shouted, "No!" and he immediately disappeared. She hadn't been able to receive this message because the pain was still too strong, and my mother-in-law was very frightened by this apparition. This is only my interpretation, of course, but I think my father-in-law wanted to reassure his wife to ease her grief, and he gave this reassuring message to someone he was sure would be able to pass it on. This testimonial illustrates how important it is, in my opinion, to keep an open mind, even if we have to be discerning, because it's obvious that not all experiences that escape our rationality always have a positive content. However, some of them deserve to be taken into account without caricatural judgment, because they can help to improve our lives.